Welcome to our podcast, Growing Give and Take Kids Power Traits for Life. This program is brought to you by Victoria Kindle Hodson and Mary Emma Willis of Reflective Educational Perspectives. They are founders of the Learning Success Institute and Solimar Academy Independent Study Program. They are also co-authors of Discover Your Child's Learning Style and Self-Portrait Power Traits Assessment. Their mission is to give parents and teachers the tools to empower kids to thrive in the real world by focusing on their strength, or as they call it, power traits. Please visit powertraitsforlife.com or reflectiveed.com for more information. You can also check out learningsuccessinstitute.com and solimaracademy.com.
Welcome back to Give and Take Kids. This is Mary Emma Willis, and today I will be presenting episode 5 of the C.A.R.E.S series. That's the E of C.A.R.E.S, expand your view of what motivates your child or student. So let's talk about motivation. What does motivation mean anyway? I was curious to see the official definition, so I actually looked it up. The dictionary says, the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way, or the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. And some of the synonyms given are incentive, inspiration, enthusiasm, drive, and get up and go. But the one that sort of surprised me is sense of purpose. I would not have thought of sense of purpose as a definition for motivation. In our work, we often say that a sense of purpose is a great provider of motivation. If you have a purpose, you will be motivated to do things. But to say it's a definition or synonym for motivation is pretty interesting to me. So let me ask you, what motivates you? What are you motivated to do? Is it connected to a sense of purpose? Do you do things to receive a reward or to avoid something you see as a punishment? Are there things you do that are not connected to a reward or a punishment? You just do them because you love to do them. And what do you like best? The activities that bring a reward or avoid a punishment, or those you just do because you want to? You know, in our culture, we have pretty much been trained to believe that we can motivate others by offering rewards or threatening punishments. We especially believe this about children. Parents offer rewards or punishments to get their kids to do things, and teachers have reward and punishment systems set up for their classrooms. But do these strategies really work? Well, bribing and punishing can work for a short while. The promise of a reward or the threat of a punishment can move a young person to do what an adult wants. However, as long as the motivation is not coming from inside that person, it will wither away as soon as no one is looking. Eventually, that good action or behavior you were going for will be completely abandoned when the rewards or punishments are no longer in place. And then there are those children who aren't even motivated in the short term by punishments or rewards. You know, the ones that don't care if you take their toys away or even if you offer to pay them. They still won't do their homework or their chores or something else you ask them to do. In his book, Punished by Rewards, Alfie Kohn has this to say. What rewards and punishments do is induce compliance, and this they do very well indeed. If your objective is to get people to obey an order, to show up on time and do what they're told, then bribing or threatening them may be sensible strategies. But if your objective is to get long-term quality in the workplace, or to help students become careful thinkers and self-directed learners, or to support children in developing good values, then rewards like punishments are absolutely useless. In fact, as we are beginning to see, they are worse than useless. They are actually counterproductive. End quote. So then, what does motivate young people? Well, the fact is that kids have motivation in abundance. It's their nature to be motivated, especially about learning. Learning is as natural as breathing, according to educator and author Barbara Gibbon. It seems that we are born motivated to learn. So the real question isn't how do we motivate our children to learn, rather, what did we do to take away their motivation to learn? Rewarding and punishing children are two things we do that stifle natural motivation. Both reward and punishment are external approaches to motivation that make the worth of a child's work depend upon a parent's or teacher's evaluation. Using these external approaches, we encourage students to do what we want them to do, to become what we want them to become, or else they won't get the reward. In fact, they are likely to get the punishment if they see things differently from us. Remember that children are born wanting to learn. No one has to make them learn to walk or talk, and no one forces them to want to do things just like daddy or just like mommy or big sister. They want to do what the big kids are doing. They want to explore and try things out. In an article called The Risks of Rewards, Alfie Kohn states, children are likely to become enthusiastic, lifelong learners as a result of being provided with an engaging curriculum, a safe, caring community in which to discover and create, and a significant degree of choice about what and how and why they are learning. Rewards like punishments are unnecessary when these things are present and are ultimately destructive in any case. End quote. So here are some tips on how to provide this type of environment that stimulates motivation from the inside out. First, remember to be a coach, and be the kind of coach that inspires motivation and a love of learning. How do you do that? Start by applying what you've learned in the previous episodes of this C.A.R.E.S series. The C, the A, and the R. Celebrate your child or student, accept your role as your child's or student's coach, and respond rather than react. Number 2, find out all you can about your child's or student's strengths and passions, their best ways of taking in information, their interests, their talents, what works best for each of them in learning and in family situations. Honor the gifts and unique contributions of each child. 3, be a model. Demonstrate your love for learning. Let the kids see you seeking out information. Use books, videos, internet, and other resources, and make it obvious when there's a topic that you love learning about. 4, encourage interests. Help students develop their interests, talents, and passions. When they want to pursue a topic or activity, help them discover the best ways of doing that. Do not use their interests as rewards for doing good schoolwork, or take away their interests as punishment. That is the fastest way to kill motivation and love of learning. 5, integrate interests with school subjects. If a student loves horses, suggest a study of the history of the horse. If a student loves sports, perhaps books about her favorite athletes could be the foundation for language arts. If a student loves fashion and design, discuss how that student could learn about different cultures by exploring fashion and design in those cultures. This is the best way to increase motivation and love of learning, and both homeschoolers and classroom teachers can do this. 6, keep them in the loop. Always talk things over with students. Ask for their input, what they think, how they feel. Ask for their ideas. What would they like to learn about? How would they like to go about it? You might be surprised at what they come up with. 7. This is a tricky one. Do not require 100% in every subject. We all know it's impossible to give 100% to everything we do in real life. As an adult, for example, you might be doing C work in exercising, maybe A work in cooking for your family, and perhaps B in keeping the house clean. Just like you have to prioritize, help students learn how to choose their level of commitment to a subject. If you are using grades, allow kids to choose whether they want to go for a C, a B, or an A. Then together, come up with the criteria for earning each of those grades. Make it perfectly okay to choose a C. If you are not using grades, you can talk about going for the bronze, silver, or gold. All of this teaches students how to make choices about what they really want to give their energy to, and when it's okay to just do good enough. Now, what's interesting about this process is that kids also learn to evaluate themselves as they are going along. So I've had students who choose a C, for example, for a subject or activity that they don't like. I've had students do this. They'll choose a C. Oh, well, I don't really like history. I'm going to go for a C. Well, pretty soon they were saying to me, you know, I can do more on this. I want to go for a B. Or in some cases, students ended up going for an A because they saw that it was doable and they had the choice. I've also had students decide to go for an A at the beginning in something and then later reprioritize and change that to a B or a C. And that should be okay too. Do you see what valuable lessons these are? They're really worth far more than the actual subjects or activities that the kids are working on. And number 8 is keep track of successes rather than failures and encourage kids to do the same. Focusing on strengths and accomplishments is what keeps people going, moving forward. Successful experiences keep people engaged and interested in moving on to the next success. Number 9, find out your child's or student's goals for the future. Help them build daily bridges to these goals, no matter how far away they seem. Not only will you give the young person a new perspective about who he or she is, you will also open the doors of possibility and unlock their natural motivation to learn. Learning then becomes linked with milestones that they choose to reach, steps that they want to take, commitments they want to make. Since every child is curious and wants to participate in the learning process, let's make sure that we're letting them start where they are in the process, rather than where we think they should be. And going back to sense of purpose, remember sense of purpose was one of the synonyms in the dictionary for motivation. Let's allow them to proceed in a direction that has purpose and meaning for them. Studies show that it's hard to stop happy, satisfied people from trying to learn more about themselves and the world, or from feeling good about themselves when they've accomplished something. It's not actually human nature to do as little as possible. That's a sign that something is wrong. So this week we recommend practicing the E in C.A.R.E.S, expanding your view of what motivates your children and students. As you help them discover their sense of purpose, you'll be taking one more step toward growing Give and Take kids and giving them the gift of power traits for life.